Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Prolific Podcast. I'm your host, Lex, and today we got a whole lot of things to talk about: new music, new drama, new manga, all of the above. And today is gonna be a good one. Make sure you go listen to the Spotify version, wherever you get your Apple podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcast, and listen to it there. If you're watching on the YouTubes, you know we can't play any of that copyright music, so unfortunately we're gonna have to skip it. So go check it out on your favorite podcast where you listen to your favorite podcast. But that was for sure Die Hard by Kendrick Lamar, one of my favorite tracks of the album. We'll get into that a little later, and I've said that multiple times already, and I'm getting annoyed by myself. Today, man, I really want to get into a lot of things, so let's just jump right into it. Dude, if you have not heard in the news or on the social medias or things that have happened over this past week, I don't know if you guys saw, but Dave Chappelle, man, woof, another comedian getting attacked on stage. Could you believe that? Who would have thought that what happened to Chris Rock wasn't gonna happen to another comedian? I think we all thought that. I think we all had that little bit of moment with ourselves and say, well, maybe it won't happen. Hopefully, it doesn't happen to another comedian. And look what happened. Not many too not too many weeks later. I don't know exactly when the Chris Rock thing happened, but look at now, dude. A fan jumped on stage and tried to tackle Dave Chappelle. And to say the least, man, they fucking beat the shit out of this guy. If you see some of the photos of him, they beat the crap out of that guy, man. They definitely did not do the Chris Rock and kind of let it go. They made sure he felt, made sure he got his punishment right there and then. And that was that was pretty crazy, dude. I cannot believe that this guy thought that he was gonna get away with it. I don't know too much about why or the reason he jumped on that stage, but oh my god! And apparently he had a gun with a knife on it or something like that. Some knife with a gun. I'm not sure what he was trying to do with that. He just ended up tackling Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle kind of just, you know, he kind of just went with it, man. He didn't. It didn't seem like he fell down from the videos, but yeah, that was pretty crazy to me, dude. Again, another person being attacked by someone on stage. I mean, one okay, two instances. They're kind of different, but the same thing is happening here. You know what I mean? I mean, one is kind of like a celebrity going on stage and smacking a comedian, and the other one's just some random ass dude who was just not having a good day that day and coming up and trying to tackle Dave Chappelle. Now, both two different outcomes for sure. They beat the shit out of this guy, man. The photos of this guy had his arm facing the opposite direction. They broke this guy's arm, and I don't even know how they even did that. That guy's arm is gone, man. That's insane. They must have beat the shit out of him in the back, dude. I don't know what the hell they did with that guy. I couldn't not believe it. You know, Dave Chappelle's crew is definitely not gonna let that shit happen ever again. I don't think so, man. And the jokes that were after he was able to tell jokes right after, just like Chris Rock, these professional comedians really know how to like what do you call it? They really know how to bounce back from like bullshit. I'm sure because everybody, imagine, man, you're being heckled for many years. You're a professional comedian. You know, now something physically does happen to you. I'm sure all that practice of coming back with a good joke is like just ingrained in them. Oh my god, dude, that was insane. I cannot believe that happened with Dave Chappelle. You know what? There's part of me that probably can't believe that happened. It's just so soon for. And so there's some people saying, well, it's probably not connected or whatever. I think differently, man. I think that what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, I mean, you were gonna face people. People were gonna gain confidence out of that. Say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. If somebody says something I don't like, I'm gonna go up there and go attack this person because I don't feel comfortable now. I cannot believe it, man. Like, I don't know too much of the backstory, right? There could be reasons to, and I'm sure this guy has some sort of bullshit reason for going up there. But they handled him. They handled their business, no doubt about that, man. The way they hurt this kid, holy shit, you couldn't even recognize them. They took him to the back, man, and just show him work, dude. Just knocked him out, kicked him, broke his arm. You should see the photos of this kid, broken arm and everything. And you know that shit. Justice was served in that moment. Would I have done that? Probably not. Would I let the cops do that? Hey, that's what I would decide to do. Maybe get a little bit of security. And that's right. Where was his security? Why are these people jumping over? I don't even know what he jumped over. He jumped over a fence or a crowd of people. Who knows? But why did the securities allow this to happen? How did that even work? Like, I get it at the Oscars. I mean, why are you gonna have security? It's a bunch of stars. You wouldn't expect anybody to really like try to do something to one of the comedians. But now just a random crowd of people. Like, where was security, especially for a Dave Chappelle set? Like, where was the security around him? Like, the guy tackled him, and it took him like quite a couple minutes to react. I wonder if they were in shock. Like, to let that happen to Dave Chappelle, holy shit, man, that was somebody's gonna have to pay for that, and the guy did pay for that, as a matter of fact. But yo, man, security. I'm pretty sure he must have fired his security, you know, or at least got more security. That's no way that should be happening, especially on a big stage like that. It's amazing that these things still are happening and still are like very, people are crazy these days, man. Think about it. We're locked up for 2 years. I don't know where you guys are from, but like, um, we were locked up for a while. Can you imagine the amount of crazy people that got brewed in that bullshit? Like, holy shit, dude. A lot of mental health issues going on out there, and this guy definitely is like, uh, one of them. I guess he had some knife and some gun with him, or a combination of both. Like, Dave Chappelle definitely needs to, or at least whoever the that places that he did that set at, they need to figure out better security. There's no way they could ever allow that to happen again. That's crazy. He could have the guy. He could have got stabbed up. Who knows if that was a real gun or whatever that guy had with him. Something bad could have like really happened to Dave Chappelle. Fortunately enough that it didn't, and justice was served at that moment. And I think from what I heard, the guy was trying to press charges or something, and they weren't able to, or something like that. I'm not sure. You would have to do your own research on that, but Jesus, man, like, if you think that you're just gonna get away with just jumping up there and then nothing happening to you, I don't think so, man. Like, you're gonna get fucked up, especially with Dave Chappelle's crew. Like, there's no way that that's ever gonna happen again. And somebody's definitely gonna get some better security out there, or get some shit fucking done, man. Holy crap, dude! I couldn't imagine going through something like that. I would hate for somebody to like, dude, I don't even want to be touched, man. Don't even come near me, dude. Like, what the fuck, dude? Imagine doing your job and just somebody just randomly attacks you. No fucking way, bro. Is that okay? And also my own security. Where are you, man? Like, why am I even hiring you if you're not even like gonna help me, or you're doing your fucking job? Oh well, I'm sure some people heard didn't hear the end of that. But man, poor guy, dude. Not even poor guy. Fuck that guy. But like, they really fucked his ass up. You should go see some of the pictures that they had, dude. Like, holy crap. Yeah, man. Dave Chappelle. That was pretty intense. That was something that happened not too long ago. Like, wow, man, strange times that we were living in. Definitely some crazy people out there getting going outside now. Now that everything's like, I wouldn't say normal, but like, now everything and everywhere is starting to really being opened up, especially like in places like that. But yeah, dude, what a crazy week. Not too much happened to me this week. Just been kind of chilling, hanging out, enjoying my time. Kind of like sitting down and trying to figure out what the next step is. I think that's the same thing I was talking about on the last episode. Like, just kind of been watching shows and seeing what I want to do with a lot of things, and we're just doing them. Just trying to get a little bit more confident, trying to be a little honest. I think I was having a conversation earlier, and something that I do definitely want to be doing now is, being a little more honest with myself and being a little more honest with other people. I need to dive deep and be, obviously not be an asshole about what I'm saying or anything like that, but definitely try to have like this consistency of like trust, in the sense of I need to make sure that I'm telling people in a kind way exactly how I feel about situations. I feel like sometimes, I do freeze up a lot. I do freeze up a lot, and I should have a little bit of more confidence to say, hey, stand up for myself and say exactly what I want and what I need. I think there's times where I'm a little too quiet and too passive when I should be a little more, up straight, a little more like forward with things, you know? I wonder if other people struggle with that. I'm pretty sure other people struggle with that, like just not having that confidence within yourself to like say what you need to say. And unfortunately, I mean, that was me for a lot of years, and up until recently, like that's something that I want to change, something that I was able to observe to be more transparent. I've been watching a lot of my YouTube videos, and I just feel like, what am I even trying to convey here? Like, what am I even trying to say? Yeah, like sometimes I feel like I'm not I'm not satisfying myself with my own content, and I think that might be a little bit of a bad thing or a really horrible thing to do, as especially as like a content creator and trying to join this field. Just being a little more honest, being a little more upfront. Every time I turn on this camera or turn on this mic, I'm fucking nervous as shit, dude. I'm sweating. I don't even know, dude. I get like stage fright, and I get myself lost into. I don't even know what the hell's going on. But all I know is that I want to do this, and I want to like get better at just creating content, creating these podcasts, creating, having fun on top of it all. This is like a real serious passion of mine, and I want to treat it as such. And I don't know what exactly I want at the end of it. I don't know what exactly. I guess what I want, to be honest, is just be sustainable. I want this to be a sustainable thing where it's feeding my family and being able to support it, because it's possible. I mean, look at all the podcasts. Yeah, I know that the market's saturated. Yeah, I know a podcast is being created every fucking minute, whatever the statistic is that they say. But still, man, it's still possible. There's still an avenue and still a lane for everything and everybody. I mean, I like to believe so. And yeah, and I want to make sure that I'm outputting and being as honest as I can be about the things that I'm saying. And obviously, I'm never going to be a perfect person, but at least I can be true to myself. And I definitely want to be doing that more often. I feel like sometimes I'm not satisfied with, the what do you call it? Like the outcome, I would say. I don't know, dude. Yeah, satisfied with the outcome. Yeah, being satisfied with the outcome, dude. Like, are you ever satisfied? Do people ever feel satisfied? Like, I wouldn't call myself a perfectionist, but I would definitely. I like being very like, if something isn't as specific as I want it to be, then I'm gonna be bothered by that. I definitely am. If I like watching my own videos and having my own content, sometimes I can like nitpick every little thing that I should have said more, or I should have done this, or I should have done that in that moment, and then I just end up hating the video or hating the thing that I'm trying to create. But the way I try to combat that, say, you know what, maybe this video, let me just put this video out, because I could spend on a video hours if I wanted to, trying to edit every single detail, every single make sure that I'm saying every single word perfectly. But man, like, I don't know. I don't think that that's. I think putting out your content out there and just developing from that, and developing kind of like my own lane and shit. Like, I think that might be a little bit better than just never putting out anything and being so like uh trying to be such a perfectionist, and such like trying to satisfy um like, am I even trying to satisfy myself when I'm trying to be this like perfectionist? I don't know. I think overall I just want people to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to enjoy the content, and also I want to gain a little bit out of that, but maybe maybe I'm being too selfless in that sense of like, why am I doing this? What are the reasons that I'm creating this video, or why am I creating this content, or why am I talking about it? Do I give a shit about it? Like, do I really give a shit about something? And I oftentimes find myself in that position of like, hey, you know, do I give a shit about that? And I'm trying to get better with being honest with myself, I think. Like, honest people are hard to come by, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice to be able, at least for me, I don't know if it comes naturally for people, but for me, it takes a lot of practice to be very vulnerable and very honest with what I want and why I want it. I think a lot of times I tend to just be quiet and allow things to just happen, when I know that I should be standing up and saying, "Hey, I want this, or I want that," or and yeah, I'm not a perfect person. I'm trying to get better. I know that may come easy to some people, but for me, it's a challenge. But hopefully I get better at it, and that's able to be, you're able to see my growth through these, or even myself, like, I'm able to see my growth through these podcasts or through these videos, kind of document like my life as it's going on, and being aware of that, of how much I've grown and stuff. I think maybe I'm a little too hard on myself as well. But yeah, man, a lot of things have happened, a lot of new music has come out, and it's pretty awesome. Of course, if you guys have heard. Wait, before I get into that, no. I want to talk about the Jack Harlow album. The Jack Harlow album, man. Woof. Shit. I don't know exactly what I was expecting hearing the Jack Harlow album. Come Home, The Kids Miss You, the title of the album. But what can I say? It was cool. I'm really having trouble enjoying things. Everything kind of sounds very one note, in the sense that like a lot of things sound very familiar to one another. Like, to find a creative album these days is very difficult. And not to say that Jack Harlow's album didn't have, you know, highlight moments. I think I think First Class was one of the singles to come out, right? First. And I didn't really like that song, but it kind of grew on me. I understand why it's a good song. I understand why people like it. It had to grow on me though. Like, I did not like it at first. Um, I don't know, man. I wanted to like this album, but there's parts that I do like it, then there's parts that I don't. To me, it felt a little bit bland to me, at least. It wasn't like this flavorful piece of content. It felt one note. A lot of a lot of these songs on the album, to me at least. I really like Jack Harlow. I think he's really cool and talented. Not saying that every track was that way. Let me see. First Class Grammy, the Churchill Downs, which was leaked not too long ago, with the Drake feature was good. I really enjoyed the Drake verse on it. It was really good and very transparent. And I guess Jack Harlow went back and redid his verse on that one, and it sounded really good. It's this honest track between uh two people who, obviously Jack Harlow admits that he admires Drake and wants to know more about him. There was definitely like notable tracks on here. It's just somewhere it got really bland for me. I didn't like every single one of them. They kind of just started to sound the same for me. Which one else did I like? I was surprised. I didn't really like the Poison song with Lil Wayne. Not one of my favorite. You know, it really sounded like I don't know what Lil Wayne, but it sounded like an older version of Lil Wayne on there. I guess he went back on his style or something like that, but it really sounded like a classic, more older like version of Lil Wayne. You know, uh, yeah, like overall, I don't know what I felt about this album. I felt I felt like it was very one note, and I don't find myself coming back to it very often. I am enjoying the Churchill Downs, but as far as the other tracks, didn't see myself to really like them. The Justin Timberlake, that was a little bit of a left field there. I didn't know that he was gonna have him on this album. The Pharrell Williams one, I really heard better Pharrell Williams tracks on other albums, but this one just didn't seem to really hit with me. I guess another one would be Dua Lipa. I really like the beat on that one and kind of how it flowed. But yeah, I didn't see myself really liking, and that's very unfortunate. Since I really like Jack Harlow, I think some of his songs are really good. It's just this time around, it seemed a little too one note for me, and I think that's all I gotta say about this one. That's all I gotta say about "Come Home, the Kids Miss You." Awesome album title though. That's pretty cool, pretty unique. I guess what I heard is that his fans were telling him that, and his I don't know where on the social medias they were calling him that or telling him that, and he was able to name the album that. It's a cool title, but as far as Jack Harlow, yeah, man, I don't know about that one. But what I do know about, and what I do want to get into, and it's gonna be a surprising take on this since I've seen a lot of people enjoying the album, is Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Wow, dude. Almost like it came back. He came back so fast. Jesus, I didn't think we were gonna hear from it from a while. But he dropped the Heart Part 5, and then soon after that, the fucking album comes out. Wow, dude. And I don't know, man. Like I said, I find myself really I'm so weird with music. I find myself really really hard to enjoy music these days. Just everything to me sounds so reused, so like it sounds so similar to one another these days. To find a really unique song is so difficult, and with this album, Hmm. With this album, I just felt, I don't know. The songs are amazing. The quality of each song is great. I was telling one of my buddies, Dom, is like, I get that Kendrick Lamar is never gonna drop. He's just one of those artists that are never gonna drop anything that's bad. I get that, right? Never gonna drop anything that's bad. Everything is gonna sound great, uh, high quality. There's no doubt that this album's amazing, right? As far as it comes to music, this album is amazing. And I think one of these songs has the best vocals that I've ever heard on a fucking album ever. It's so crisp and so clear. I'm not sure which one it was. It might be N95 that I think that it was the best hearing, the best sounding as far as vocals in the album. But I just felt at the end of it, what was I supposed to gain from, like, what was I supposed to, what was the lesson here? Usually when Kendrick Lamar drops one of these albums, it has a big picture, a big, kind of what's what's he want you to see. It has a big thing like "Damn" or "To Pimp a Butterfly." But this time around, you know what it is, and let me get deep with it. I get it that a lot of people are very like judgmental to other people, and I get it that people are very like transphobic or very like don't look at themselves in the mirror. Don't like they don't, they want to judge things so much that they never step back and say, why am I even like, people want to criticize everything. I get it. We've been hearing it for so long now. And I guess maybe with the things that I intake as far as content, I understand a lot of these issues. And maybe this is where I leave off. Where I've heard so much of this like talk already that maybe I'm already overwhelmed by it. He talks a lot about like like I said earlier, he talks a lot about like kind of looking at yourself and us us as people, judging one another and acting like we're greater than. And he gets into this perspective that we hear. Well, at least I don't want to project, but I hear so much of. But you know what I don't hear? You know what bothers me about this? And maybe this is my own personal issue and has nothing to do with the album, and this is maybe why uh I personally do not like I personally don't find myself enjoying a lot of these songs, because I've already heard a lot of these positions, but what I'm not hearing is solutions. You know what I mean? How are we going to fix this shit? We're all just sitting here as a society arguing about, oh, I don't agree with you with this, or you're not a man, or you're not a man to me, or you're not a woman to me. Transgender people are not, this or that, or you know what I mean. You're a racist, or you're this and you're that, and it's like, or that album shitty, but fuck you if you like the album, or fuck you if you like the song. Like there's so much conflict, and we observe that conflict, and we're able to see that well, at least for myself, I'm able to see that conflict. I've heard it on so many podcasts. I've heard these trans issues. I've heard these racism within our country. Well, I've heard all this stuff, but where is the solution? Where is the building up? Because it's one thing to make somebody analyze themselves, and I get how hard that is. And maybe that's why, maybe I'm not being so sympathetic or empathetic to that, because I know how much it takes to look at oneself and say, you know what, Who am I to judge this person? Who am I to leave a dirty comment? Who am I? Like, if I don't like something, just leave. If I don't agree with something, that can exist there, and I'm not gonna fucking virtual signal and try to be this person to like convince somebody who doesn't want to be convinced. Well, we're gonna talk about this today, dude. We're gonna talk about, and I'm not gonna get into so much politics or one thing, or I'm just saying like these grander issues being brought to light and being like and maybe this is going beyond the album, right? And I could understand that I'm judging it from a selfish perspective, but to me, it's like I don't find myself. I've heard this so many thousands of times, and now I'm hearing it in the music, and like crap, man. Like, and maybe that's what he wanted. Like, maybe this is not for me, and I don't want to be so judgmental to that because I understand there's a lot of people in this world who are just walking by and not having their own like thought or conscience and just following the herd. I get it, and some people need that. You know, you need to stop them and say, "Hey," and put that mirror in front of them and say, "Hey, look at yourself and look at what you're doing, and look at how you're treating other people and treating yourself." I get it. So maybe this is why I may not be enjoying this album so much. Is that I've been reflecting on this a lot, and it's like I'm not sure what I wanted from Kendrick, you know, or what did I expect? Am I just holding him to this to the standard of like I said, the music is great. Every track sounds beautiful, mixed well. Again, like I said, one of the greatest vocals I've heard on a song ever. So crisp and so clear. The beats are awesome, but I've already heard this. I've already heard these topics. Hour long conversations with people. What are we gonna do? What is the solution? But then again, is it even our problem to fix people? It's not our problem to fix people. We don't inherit that, right? We don't inherit that issue. It's not my problem to fix you. So I understand the fact of like, hey, I'm not gonna. It's not my It's not my job to change you. But here's what I'm gonna lay out for you, and here's the foundation that I got to the perspective and the mindset that I have, and I get that. So maybe it's that, you know, maybe it is that. Maybe that's where it goes wrong, where you start to ask people to do something instead of convince them to say, hey, take a step back and realize you as a person, what are you doing and how are you affecting your environment, you know? And as people, can we live, as can we agree and can we also disagree, but also be okay with each other, you know? I guess that's a huge issue and it is a huge issue in our country, or in fuck our well yeah, I guess our country, right? It's like, what is the solution? One obvious one is to gain better understanding about one another, right? But it's like a lot of people don't want to do that. On top, and let's go behind, let's go even before that. Like that's after okay, I feel like that conversation's after the fact, before even looking at yourself. Unless those two things live separately. Can you understand somebody without understanding yourself? You know, are you able to have empathy for other people, and have the understanding that you don't agree with them, but also don't, kind of alienate them from society? Is that a possible conversation? Maybe that's just a dream world, right, where we all live together in harmony. I think I'm getting sidetracked from the album. So to circle back, like a lot of these tracks are pretty good. Like I said, overall, it's great sounding album. I get why people like it, but it's already conversations I've heard, you know, and I know that I'm saying it in a negative tone, but I just feel like, I don't know what I feel. I guess I feel upset. I feel angry. Because all this shit is true, and it's like it reminds me of, like, fuck, man. Like, we have a lot of fucking, like, we as people have a lot of shit to deal with, and it's like all we do is just complain. You know, we're just not complain. That's the wrong word to use, but all we do is just yell at each other. And then we create more separation and more like more more conflict, and it's like, what are we gonna do? Like, what's the solution here? And I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know if there is one, because it's all ego and, like, your morals, and like, kind of the things that you're loyal to. And what do you? But that, I feel like that's an excuse. Just because it's against your beliefs or your way of life, doesn't mean that you can't understand somebody. Does that make those things okay? And who are we to judge that those things are okay? It's just hard, I think. And this album made me think about that. And maybe that's why I don't feel so, because it did make that feelings come out of me. Maybe when I look at it, it's like, oh man, it's like a reflection of, like, or at least what he's talking about. I can see, like, these issues. I'm conflicted, you know. I don't know what song it was, but We Cried It Together, I think it was called. We Cry Together, where the couple are arguing with one another. Jesus Christ, huh? Jesus Christ, the emotions. I, unfortunately, I've been in relationships like that, and whoa, man, this album conveys a lot of emotion. You know, that's why I'm not saying this is not a good album. What I'm saying is that I myself have a hard time enjoying it. Maybe because of those reasons. You know, We Cry Together. Shit, dude. There's a track about man's egos, about being a father, and how we kind of, uh as fathers, we try to inherit this, like, oh, being a man, and not talking about your emotions, and not talking about, how you feel about towards things. Like, Jesus, what a track. That's a good one. Really good one. They had Kodak Black, which was a surprise. He's a little bit sprinkled all over here. Having, I'm sure he has a couple of He has a good I think he has a good track with himself, talking about kind of like how they glorify, this gang violence and this gang shit, and they make it look cool, which is cool, so this is a great album. I just think that it's, what it is. It's a great album, great songs. It's just hard to listen to for me personally. It's just hard to listen to. It's a great album, great tracks. It's just hard to listen to because it's real. I think that's what it is. You know, it takes me to a place. These songs take you to a place where these are real, and maybe that's why this album's amazing, because it's hard to listen to, because it's coming from such a real place that I think as all people you can identify with. You know, I think that's what I'm trying to say, and I think that's all I want to say. Um, I guess you know it's good to hear K Dot back on like on top of all that. It's good to hear him back. I don't know what his plan is or what he wants to do, but it's good to hear Kendrick Lamar back. Really is. Been missed. It's been way too long. You know, good to hear him back. So yeah, man. Holy crap. Lot of new stuff. Lot of new things. Also, um, new manga being read as well. I finished Chainsaw Man. I was able to finish that series. Definitely want to get a review out or some sort of reaction towards the series. Holy crap, dude. Some of those chapters, some of those pages got real dark really quickly, you know? But such a good, I see why that series has such a big fan base. And I think I'll make a separate video of that. So if you haven't checked out Chainsaw Man, I would advise you to go check out the series. It's either 11 volumes right now, 12 volumes, I'm not sure, but go check it out. Right now it's a great time to pick them up. See what else I've been reading. Oh, I've been reading, okay, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's right. I want to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and we're going to talk about part 1, the what's it called? The Blood Phantom, or the Phantom of Blood. Let me look it up. 1 second. Uh Phantom's Blood. Let's see. What's it called? And it ain't giving me. Yeah, Phantom Blood. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This series is you could tell. So you could tell this was an old manga. Just the way it flows. It's very like as far as how it reads, it's a little bit like sporadic, but and a little dated, to be honest with you. But the core story is there. You got Dio, and then you got Jojo. These the enemy and the hero. Wow, man! And we're gonna get to a little bit of spoilers. So if you haven't read the manga, or I'm sure at this point, if you're an anime junkie or a manga junkie, you've must have seen it already. But well, I shouldn't say that because I didn't see it. But holy shit, man! the way that uh manga or that part, ties it with a bow at the end there, it's pretty good. Like I said, a little bit cheesy at times, but I think that's the flavor of that series and why a lot of people like it. It's very how can I say, flamboyant. You know what I mean? Like it's very cheery as a read, and very dramatic as well. Some parts are very dramatic, and they're not shy to present the book that way. Hold on, let me drink some water, and I'm gonna do it annoyingly because I want to. And here we go. Yes, that tastes so good. But where was I? Oh yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part One. Man, it was a good read. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna continue reading it. There's a lot to catch up to. Apparently, I don't even know how many parts there are, and that was a little bit weird too. Like, I've never seen a book or like a manga like that. Like part one, and then part one has like 7 volumes, and then like I didn't understand that really. It gets easier once you understand. Once you research a little bit of how this is going on, but that has to be, that's a little bit weird for me. Whatever, I figured it out, man. I figured it out, dude. It's not that hard, dude. All right, you can figure it out too, and you should read this manga or this series if you have not already read it. Look at the fucking fan base. I'm sure you and your mom and your dad and your cat and your dog have read this fucking manga if you're an anime lover. And yeah, man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1 was really good, and I enjoyed it. I think Zappelli, he's Zappelli is a cool character. Unfortunately, he met his fate. And Dio, man, oh my god, Dio, what a piece of shit, right? Like, what an asshole, dude. And like his motives kind of changed right after the second half, where he was just trying to get into JoJo's the Joestar family and get his inheritance or whatever, get his money. And then kind of after all that, he got caught, and now he just wants to just wreak havoc and have all this power. I wonder where in that moment. I had to go back and really look at it and say, like, did gaining, instead of like money, was his motivation really just power? Like, did he just want to have power within himself and feel like this this important person? But then if you think about it, if we go back, a lot of the stories about how there's a chapter in there where he says, "Hey, Dio's been evil since he was born." Oh, Speedwagon, right? Speedwagon, which is one of the characters Jojo meets. He goes back and says, he's been around a lot of thugs, a lot of evil people, and when he goes around Dio, Dio is a person that he was born evil. He just isn't evil. He was born evil that way. So maybe he already had that in himself to be this like mean person and mean character and evil character as well. He treats Jojo really shitty from the beginning, and really horrible things that he does. And eventually, there's this part and this point where him and Jojo become friends, and they've been friends for like 7 years. But I guess Jojo never believed that they're actual friends, and he knew that one day Dio was gonna turn on him. And would you look at that? He was right. This guy Dio, what a character. What an evil character. Not the evilest character, but he does have. I mean, mind you, this is such a. What is this? When was this manga created? In the 80s? If I'm not corrected, if I'm not incorrect in that, I think it was in the 80s, right? Part one, Phantom Blood. Let's look it up. Bear with me here. When was it created? Korea 80s, 87. So yeah, man, like that archetype of evil. Whoa, man. So I think it was more than just money and the power. I mean, sorry, I think it was just more than money. I think it was the power of like trying to control things and shit, or or it could be just him being like this like fucked up guy. I mean, like he killed his own father, and his motivation was because he was his father was some drunk who would just get drunk all the time and beat him and his mother. But then that kind of gets conflicting because like how Speedwagon says this guy was evil from the jump. So was he gonna do that regardless, or was he gonna do that? Um, was he eventually fucking? Was he pushed to do something like that? So I guess maybe that's the question they want you to be asking. I think Jojo. So I found myself liking Dio. I guess Dio was such a good character. Maybe I found myself liking him and like being more interested in him. I think Jojo was cool too. He's just he was this character who's like um kind of never believed this guy. He kind of never like I guess did he have a lot of character development? No, I think Jojo kind of stayed consistent. He kind of stayed a little bit consistent by the middle of it and towards the end of it. I think in the beginning he was a little bit more of a scrawny guy who didn't stand up for himself and like was getting his ass beat by Dio. But towards the end, or sorry, towards the middle, he gained this confidence and obviously his character also developed. Whereas Dio was kind of always just this evil person. Um, yeah, I think the evil stayed consistent, but like kind of like, uh, but then like I don't know, man. It's a good read. It was a good read. Just bear with the fact that this is '80s manga, so it's gonna be a little bit like outdated in the sense, but it's still enjoyable, still readable. And it was awesome. The characters are good. Good. There's a lot of character development in it by the two characters there, Jojo and Dio, and once you get those side characters as well, Speedwagon, Zappelli, you know, it's pretty good. The ending, oh my god, man, that was sad, right? The ending was pretty sad, but they definitely like tied it up together pretty nicely with the bow there. And I guess they started together and they ended together, right? They both ended up dying, but or who knows, right? I haven't read more into the chapter, and hopefully nobody spoils it because I haven't read more of the manga. But yeah, I guess apparently they're both dead. And yeah, man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part One, good read, enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But I think we're coming to an end here. We talked about a lot today. Uh, I missed you guys, obviously, like all the time I do. I take a little bit of a time, but bear with me. I'm sure I get more consistent over time, where this becomes a little bit more, or maybe I can schedule this a little more better. I just gotta find time, like an hour or whatever amount of time I have to do these videos or do these podcasts. Bear with me. Hope you believe with me. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Obviously, go hit the subscribe. We're trying to get more subs. With you guys' help, we can reach, to where we need to reach and reach heights that I can only do with you guys. And I just want to thank everybody for listening. Those who do listen, those who stuck by. Um, and I guess I love you guys, man. I love everybody. I love doing this, and I hope to do it again. This was the Prolific Podcast, episode 8, and hopefully I'm not fucking that up because I know I fucked it up a couple of times. This is this is episode 8 of the Prolific Podcast, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. See ya.